Hey y'all, I'm at the Peanut Festival today. This is October the 6th, and this is my friend Jerry Fisher. And Jerry, tell us what you're here for and what's going on and what your aim is today.
Our aim mostly is to make enough money to pay our light bill, water bill, and phone bill by selling these books, these toys, and this jewelry back here. As my little granddaughter would say, that jewelry.
That jewelry.
That jewelry.
Okay, who makes the toys?
Well, that's more or less the toys we buy from an older man. The books, we get out and we scout them up around. We're one of the few people who has these Hank Williams books. And we have other books. We have a lot of books on, our books are history. We got the book over there, Escambia County, Alabama, that Tom McMillan from Bruton put together. We got books on Bill Cummins Road. We got the Railroad Bill book. Most of these books you can't buy nowhere except really from us. And we don't have a big price tag on any of them.
Well, I get the sense that you're a historian of all things local. Because I've been listening to you for the past 2 days, and I think you missed your calling by not being a circus barker.
Barnum and Bailey, I read his books too. He said there's a sucker born every day, and I'm out here hunting.
And two, to let them take it.
Yeah, 2 today to take him. But no, anybody who likes railroads, sawmilling, we know all about it. We know about the president.
Who is your favorite president? And why?
Really, at my house, if you go to my house today, I got a picture hanging on the wall of, I consider the 3 greatest presidents. It's George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and also Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
And why is Roosevelt important?
Roosevelt is possibly one of our greatest presidents because there's not a person that'll be in here today at the sawmill thing that he don't have. You draw a Social Security check, thank Roosevelt. You draw a welfare check, thank Roosevelt. You got outdoor privilege. He built 2.5 million outdoor privileges because he seen the health benefits from it. The road from Century to Baker, the WPA built that. You got the co-ops. Franklin Roosevelt designed all those and had them. He built you a town, and he built one, the Escambia Farms in Okaloosa County. It was supposed to have been built in Escambia County. They didn't want it. So in the 30s, they moved it over in Okaloosa County.
Escambia Farm.
That's right, Escambia Farm.
The same kind of community that famous country singer.
That's right. As a matter of fact, mentioning country singers, he sent out a group in the mountains of Tennessee and Kentucky to record these people and get the songs they wrote that nobody had ever heard of. He did that. The co-op that he built, the co-ops all over this country, if you had 2 eggs and he had built your house and he didn't give you 10 acres of land, you took those 2 extra eggs and you turned them into co-op, that helped pay your bill. And some of those folks are living right today in the houses that Franklin Roosevelt set up for through a program. He didn't miss nothing. He planted over 1 million trees in this area. All those forest trees you see, the pines, over in Munson and so forth, thank the CCC came.
Exactly.
And they had one over in Shamokin. They had a big camp over there. If you want to see a picture of it, come by one of our books, say in the books.
Yeah, right.
We got them all in there.
Tell me the story that you were telling a couple here just a little while ago about how Milton got its name. Take us through that.
Okay, years ago, that if you was over in, now this is in 1800s and so forth, you broke a law over there and you continually done it, the judge would tell you real polite like, son, I'm sending you out of town. Sir, where are you sending me? I'm going to send you to hell. Hell over there. Later on, we'd know it as Milton, but that's where he had sent the out. That was some rough people in Milton in their day. In Florida town over there, that was a good-sized little place too, because that's where they brought all the logs down the river and they docked them right there. Later on, they would send them over and drag them over to Pensacola. That area is known as the deep water port. That's in Pensacola. And T.R. Miller got robbed 4 times after he had brought a load of logs down the river to Pensacola. Going back home, he got robbed 4 times.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
We're going to pick back up on Milton and the...
Okay, well, we can pick up on Jay.
All right,
Or-
tell me about Jay.
Jay was named accidentally. You know, Jay Nyland run the post office here. When in the 1500s, when the Spaniards come up here, they seen these tall pines. They loved that. That was their gold and silver they was hunting. Because those tall pines, and they named it Pine Level. They didn't name it, they just called it the Pine Level. They would go down, dig down 15 feet, chop those big pines off. They needed that for the mast on their ship. So they would take them all the way back to Spain and even use them right here. Because, you know, we had a war with the Spaniards at one time. And that's how Jay really got it. It should have been named Pine Level, but obviously they had another town that was similar to it probably. And so Jay Nyland assigned it, so they just named it Jay and called it Jay. It was a farming community that had a lot of, all this farmland used to be forested one time. The same way with so many of these other places, they just didn't let it get away from them. Some folks even got into singing, like Hank Lachlan. The little old community he come from, McClellan over in that area, went to school over at Munson. Munson was pretty good. Munson was the second largest town in Santa Rosa County at one time. There's very little there now, but at one time it was a big, they had a high school there.
Okay, now
You can buy one of our books and you can get a picture of it.
Exactly. We're going to change gears and take it in a different direction, but the same kind of subject. And I went to school at Wallace, Alabama.
Yeah.
And you were telling me that there's 2 Wallaces. Now you tell us the 2 Wallaces and about the history of
Okay,
those 2
there's
names.
2 Wallaces. One is over in Santa Rosa County. The other one is up above the interstate. In Alabama. And after the same man, the man, he was a big lumber tycoon. And he lived in different places. People that had money during those times, there was probably 100 little, they called them peckerwood mills, these little lumber mills up and down the Escambia-Conecuh River. And what they done is these big carpetbaggers from the north, they came down and bought them all up, combined them together and made like Alger and over in Atmore, I forget the name of that one right now, but there were so many of them, big money talk, and poor folks go to walking. And even the Foshis, they were bought out by the folks in Brewton, T.R. Miller Mill Company. The old man T.R. Miller was the last man to take logs down the river to Pensacola. You'd think they got rich off of this, but most of those logs that they squared up and sent south, they were paid $1 a piece for them. And folks would say, well, how did they get them when the river got down so low like it is now? They would wait in the wintertime when the river got up. And there were certain people that could walk these logs. Now the average person couldn't do it. But there were some Campbells that was over around Jay. They were experts. But so many people would come along and say, I can do that. I can walk them logs, take that PV and move them around. couldn't do it. You had to really work, like anything else. You had to practice strong with it.
But there were some that got stuck between the logs and lost their limbs, and some lost their lives.
Oh, a lot of them did it. A lot of them did it. You fell down between them. Just, if you wasn't a pretty good man, you was a goner.
My daddy told me that Big Escambia Creek that starts up above England, that's up in there, and comes down and ends up down here in below Century.
Goes all the way to Pensacola.
Right. He said it back in before his day, that there was places in the creek that a lot of people had never found the bottom because it was so deep. That was before the timbering and the farming, and it filled it all in. And he said Mr. Eric Odom from the Barnett's Crossroads, little short fella, Daddy said when he was a young boy they used to go swimming, and there was a place down at, they called it Grisset Lake, and said Mr. Eric was the only person that he ever knew that could dive into that creek and bring up a handful of leaves and mud because it was so deep. And at that time, that's when they could float the log still, but you couldn't float the log in there now.
No,
it was a big flood.
Up at Little Escambia, you can pass over that Twin Bridges, you can still see those pilings out there. And those pilings were used to hold the logs until the river got up, and then they would take them down. The river was a lot deeper then, a lot narrower. And if you remember, there was years ago, there was so many people who that run these gravel boats. Mr. Henderson up there kept one in the river for years, but now you're not allowed to do that now, and it's a good thing that they have stopped it.
And you can't pull those deadheads out of the banks.
No, you can't. I think they passed that law against me and my boys because we built 2 houses out of logs we got out of the river. Juniper and cypress was good.
Right. We had a neighbor, Mr. John Hobbs, used to snake them out, and he built his son and daughter and son-in-law a house out of it. And Lamar and I were up on Big Escambia Creek, back behind where we live, a few years back, and we found 2 logs that has the stamps, and they have 2 different stamps on there, and those stamps were whoever those logs belonged to at that time. But then the flooded early spring freshets come in, they get stuck, and they are still there, and we've got pictures of them.
Yeah, we've got some down there. Probably yours had S on them. That was one of Alger's. They branded the logs, and they branded them really to stop, more or less, John Wesley Hardin. You can buy that book from us too, it tells you. But John Wesley would he would steal these logs, him and his brother-in-law, Brown Bowen, and then they would sell them. So Alger and these other companies got where they would brand them. Okay.
Okay, we're going to cut it off, and over and out till the next time.